Come on, it's bedtime now, Alex. Do you want me to tell you a story before bedtime? Okay, let me see. Oh, yes. Many years ago, there lived an old and humble gardener. The gardener tended the most beautiful gardens, which surrounded a magnificent home not far from here, just over those hills behind your school. The gardener had been employed at the home for many, many years, and he tended the grounds meticulously. The elderly owner was kind to the gardener and appreciated his hard work. He gave the gardener an enormous greenhouse that was full of exotic plants from all over the world. Until one sad day, the old man died. In his will, he left the house to the nearest relative, asking that the gardener remain to tend the plants. The nearest relative was a young socialite from Boston, a man called Nicholas Wilhelm. He came to the house with his beautiful fiancée, Elise. Immediately, things changed at the house. Nicholas was an arrogant man, spoilt as he was since an early age. He cared very little about the gardener or his garden, and instead spent his time throwing wild parties and listening to jazz music. But Elise was different from her future husband. She was sensitive and loving, and grew lonely and discontent in their enormous new home. The gardener noticed the young fiancé, and she noticed him. After observing the gardener's curious ways for some time, Elise became infatuated with him. She admired the love and care he gave to his plants, and wondered what kind of man would care for a garden so tenderly. They spent long hours together, wandering the greenhouse and exchanging knowing glances. But Nicholas was jealous of the humble gardener, who was, after all, just the help, and gave him difficult jobs to keep him from Elise. Exhausted by his new duties and troubled by Elise's sadness, the gardener would collapse in his bed late at night. He experienced strange and disturbing dreams. But the gardener and Elise continued to meet in secrecy. One day, tired of hiding their love, Elise came to him with a plan. She would leave Nicholas, and she and the gardener would start a new life together. After so many sleepless nights, the gardener knew that their romance could never work. She was young and he was old, she rich and he poor, and she was betrothed to another man. The gardener knew what had to be done. Knowing that they could not be together in this life, the gardener would wait for her in another. The gardener spent his last moments in the greenhouse, contemplating his decision and saying goodbye to his beloved plants. Later that night, the gardener and Elise met in the garden. There they said their goodbyes, and he descended into the earth, where he would, in time, grow into a magnificent tree. Today, the ancient tree still stands unwavering and strong. The spirit of the gardener lives on inside of the tree, watching over those who come to visit it, and patiently waits for his love to join him when her time comes. I'm still waiting.